Get ready, true believers! Marvel Studios president and Marvel's The Avengers producer Kevin Feige, plus an awesome assemblage of Marvel's The Avengers cast members, will be appearing at Disney's D23 Expo. Marvel's own Agent M will be there to bring you all the news as it happens via Marvel.com and Twitter. And expect plenty of news. The D23 Expo takes place at the Anaheim Convention Center on August 19th through the 21st. For tickets and more info, go to D23Expo.com.
Watching the Watcher, then you best have an excuse. 'Cause the Watcher is always watching you. Jimmy Woo, Giant Man, Emma Frost, Ant-Man, Bucky Bird, Bucky Cap, Doctor Strange, Black
Miles Morales. If you haven't seen this picture yet, you must be living under a rock, as the new Ultimate Spidey was front page news all last week. And the idea of an African-American and Hispanic Spider-Man has set fans abuzz. Yes, it's a bold move, and just as I said when Peter Parker died, that's why the Ultimate Universe exists. It's not a safe place for the status quo, and that's what makes it exciting. Peter Parker is dead, and despite all the speculation, he hasn't been replaced by a member of his supporting cast, but by a complete stranger. You'll get to know Miles a whole lot better on September 14th with the debut of Ultimate Comics Spider-Man #1. And until then, keep on reading Ultimate Comics Fallout, as it sets the stage for a universe where anything can happen, and will. Any comic book reader worth his or her salt is always looking to unearth a quality trade, to explore a great story that was for some reason missed when it first came out. One such gem is Stephen King's The Dark Tower, which is finally getting the Omnibus treatment on September 7th. I sat down with editor Ralph Macchio to discuss what is sure to be a delight to Dark Tower fans old and new.
So we're here with Ralph Macchio in his office, and look what he's got right here on his desk.
This is the Dark Tower Omnibus, and this contains all 30 issues of the first overall story arc.
Let's break this open.
Okay, this first volume has all 30 issues. As I said, what we did was we decided to do an overall arc that would take Roland from being the youngest gunslinger to the battle at Jericho Hill. And that's sort of the breaking point where he now, in the second 30-issue arc, he becomes a man. These are original stories. This is material that weaves in and out of the Dark Tower stuff. There are, for example, there are things that occur in some of the books that are part of this. But we take Roland off on his own journey. The Crimson King, who is the sort of ultimate villain of villains, wants to return all of reality to a state of chaos. Roland, if he reaches his goal, will go inside the Dark Tower, but in our series so far, he sees glimpses of it. He has visions of it, and he feels that it is his destiny to save it. And so that it's a great quest. This is the Dark Tower Companion. This is, when we initially conceived of doing the Dark Tower as a series of comics, I wanted this to be more than a comic book. And my idea initially was that we would take articles that would be relevant to what was going on in that particular issue.
Oh, that's great.
And then,
so we can take a peek inside and see what it looks like?
When you want to get into the Dark Tower world and you want to learn more about everything Dark Tower related, you can get into all these articles.
And this whole set comes out September 7th.
September 7th,
right?
I believe, is what it is. Yes.
Check this out. If you haven't already read it, or if you want to collect it in this beautiful case and this beautiful collection, pick it up September 7th.
Anyone who is interested at all in the Dark Tower will get into this and never want to come home.
And now it's time for Tricera Stack, my top 3 picks of the comics hitting stands this coming Wednesday, August 17th. And August is a great time to be reading comics as several major Marvel events are unfolding. First up, there's Daredevil #2, written by Mark Waid with art by Paulo Rivera. This relaunch has readers everywhere buzzing, and Daredevil's throwdown with Captain America will be sure to keep them talking. Then there's X-Men Schism #3, written by Jason Aaron with art by Daniel Acuna, another book making some big waves. This is one of the best X-Men stories in years and will have long-term effects on the team and its titles, so don't miss it. Finally, be sure to pick up Spider Island, The Amazing Spider-Girl #1, written by Paul Tobin with art by Pepe Larraz. She might have her powers back, but it looks like she's got some new allies as well, and none other than the Hobgoblin and Kingpin. Yes, things are just starting to get crazy in the Spider Island mega event, and we've got a lot of crazy to go. Last but not least, it's time for Graphic Debate. With all these awesome Marvel events, let me ask you this. Which one are you enjoying the most? Spider Island, X-Men Schism, or the relaunch of Daredevil and the Punisher? Personally, I'm going to have to go with X-Men Schism. The X-Men are what originally got me into comics, and so I've always had a soft spot for those merry mutants. Plus, I love a good team shakeup. Wolverine, I will follow you to the end, especially if Jason Aaron is taking us there. Share your own thoughts down below, and be sure to cast your official vote via the link in the YouTube video description or the Marvel.com news story for this episode. And that's this week's The Watcher. I'm Grace Randolph for Marvel, Your Universe.
Marvel, Your Universe.